It's an incident that has shocked the nation, unheard of in a democracy like India. Yes, this is making national headlines and questions are being asked. You're watching News Center and our focus on the two women who were paraded naked and sexually assaulted in the state of Manipur. This incident took place on the 4th of May, more than 2 months back. An FIR was registered on the 21st of June. Arrests were made. Action was taken only when these videos surfaced on social media. The government is asking Twitter, YouTube to take down these videos. The Supreme Court has taken Suo Moto Cognizance of the incident which took place and has said that this is absolutely shocking. The Prime Minister has said that the nation hangs its head in shame. Action will be taken against the perpetrators. A lot of questions being asked. How will this issue be resolved? The crisis in Manipur, the tensions between the Kuki and the majority Meitei community, which have been going on since the start of May. The opposition is asking questions in Parliament. What is the government doing? What is the government doing in order to mediate between the two communities? Let's get you all the reactions first here on News Center.
मणिपुर की जो घटना सामने आई है, किसी भी सभ्य समाज के लिए ये शर्मसार करने वाली घटना है। पाप करने वाले, गुनाह करने वाले कितने हैं, कौन है, वो अपनी जगह पे है, लेकिन बेइज्जती पूरे देश की हो रही है। 140 करोड़ देशवासियों को शर्मसार होना पड़ रहा है। मैं सभी मुख्यमंत्रियों से आग्रह करता हूं कि वे अपने राज्य में कानून व्यवस्था को और मजबूत करें, खास करके हमारी माताओं बहनों की रक्षा के लिए कठोर से कठोर कदम उठाएं।
आदमी वालों ने करने वाला काम ही नहीं है, तो इसीलिए हमने इसको स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट टर्म में कंडेम किया और इमीडिएटली पुलिस लोगों को बोला कि जो भी है, जो वीडियो को ऑथेंटिकेट करो रियलिटी और फैक्ट, उसके बाद में तुम जहां जहां में सस्पिशियस एरिया है उसमें ऑपरेशन करके जो भी है उसको पकड़ना है। और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इतना भी ट्राई करेंगे कि एफर्ट देंगे कि जो भी एविडेंस वगैरह करके वो जैसे वाला कल्प्रिट को, जैसे वाला क्राइम जो कर रहा है ऐसे वाला को सजा, जैसे मौत का सजा दे, उसको हम एफर्ट करेंगे।
All right, let's go across to our guest to discuss this disturbing incident. Also the several layers related to the violence, to the situation in Manipur, which has been unfolding since the beginning of May. We're joined by Suhas Chakma. We're also joined by Professor T. Haokip. We will be discussing the situation here. We'll also be joined by Binalakshmi, Nepram in just a bit. But Professor Haokip, if I can ask you, how do you think this went absolutely unknown by the state government, by everyone here at the center? Nobody was speaking about it for the last 2 months. It's only when these videos came to light that the police swung into action to make these arrests. When it comes to crimes against women, which may have taken place in the state of Manipur, do you think there is a lot to be investigated? Professor Haokip.
You know, this has been hidden from the public view because Manipur has been under internet shutdown for the last more than 2.5 months. And, you know, these kind of videos were not able to be circulated or, passed over to others. But fortunately or unfortunately, it eventually came out into the public yesterday. So this kind of, incidents happened, while, a few people who were trying to create fake news. And, these fake news makers or creators, allege that there were Meitei women raped in Jursanpur. So this kind of fake news incited revenge rap in different parts of Manipur. And as a result, this happens. And this is a kind of a political violence over women during this kind of riots. And this kind of incidents of rape, torture, as well as in other cases. This is not the only incident. in Imphal also, there are 2 women who have been, raped and killed, and their bodies are still lying in the morgue in Regional Institute of Medical Sciences. So this kind of rape destroys not only the body, but all the souls that has been inside women. So, this is not just a patriarchal domination over a female body. It is also an attempt to signify the domination over the other ethnicity, and that they can do anything over the women and their children. So this is a very kind of sadistic situation that we have in Manipur.
Right. Let me also go across to Suhas Chakma at this stage. Mr. Chakma, where do you think the problem lies? Why is the state government, the center, not able to do anything on the ground? And the fact that these 900 to 1,000 men in a mob were able to parade these women naked, make a video, what is the message that they're trying to send out? This is the height of violence. We've not seen such a case ever happening. What was the message that this mob was trying to send out? Of course, it was to threaten, intimidate people.
Well, I think the clear message is that there is absolute impunity. They are not scared of anybody because there is no accountability. There has not been any accountability as far as the political leadership who run the state administration are concerned. There has not been any accountability with respect to the arms and ammunition lost, 4,000 arms and 500,000 ammunitions, which the policemen lost, and which is absolutely unthinkable, which amounted to, arming the civilians. Then the government started the process of peace building. The committee, which has been set up under the chairmanship of the governor, is not functioning. Nobody knows whether the Justice Ajalamba committee is functioning or not. Nobody knows even whether CBI is investigating the cases registered or not. So if you look at it across the spectrum, I think there has been absolute impunity. And we need to see this impunity with this particular incident. That when the incident had come into focus yesterday evening, within less than 6 hours or 7 hours time, the main accused has been arrested. So it basically shows that if the government wants to take action, they can find out that they can take action. And from day one, everybody knows who has been spreading communal hatred online, offline, and who has been organizing, meetings, making songs, and broadcasting them all over the place. So what you see, basically absolute impunity, and whatever reaction has come today from the Prime Minister, it's because Prime Minister was already informed in the morning that the Attorney General and the Solicitor General, we are summoned by the Chief Justice because Chief Justice wanted to take a Suo Moto action, and the court commences at around 10:30. So obviously, around 9 o'clock, Registry must have informed the Solicitor General, the Advocate General, Attorney General. Then, of course, Prime Minister had to speak, and still the entire condemnation was full of caveats and trying to equate particular situation in Manipur with a generalized violence against women across the country. I think there is, generalized violence against women
Professor
across
Haokip,
the country.
Right. Professor Haokip, what are the reports that you're getting from the ground? Do you get a sense that the crimes against women are going uninvestigated? The police is busy just trying to maintain law and order, and crimes like these are going undetected?
As has also stated, there's a kind of impunity, in Manipur where, people of certain groups have been, given impunity to do anything. So look into some of the police reports, the 0 FIRs that have been filed all over. There are so many FIRs that have been filed in different police stations, but no action has been taken because, the administration has been with those people. They have full impunity over what they did for the last 2.5 months. So with this kind of impunity, people can do anything, and how can they be responsible for the crimes they have committed so far? So there has been police complaints, there are reports about rape, killings and others, burning of villages and other properties. but the police has not been able to take action because they have been divided. The police has not been able to take action impartially as it should be. So this is the kind of situation that we have in Manipur, and there is a total collapse of law and order for the last 2.5 months, and we have been asking for a president's rule from the first week itself, and there's no response from the central government, and this is absolutely a kind of creation of the central government also.
Right. I'd like to ask you, Mr. Suhas Chakma, the government, by urging Twitter, YouTube, social media platforms to take down these videos, do you think this is the right thing to do?
Absolutely not. In fact, if you're trying to shoot the messenger, you will not get any information, and it doesn't serve any purpose. It will only perpetuate the violence. If Twitter was not there, I don't think the Prime Minister, the Chief Justice of India, or Minister for Women and Child Development would have spoken. If you had to take action, you have to take action against those who made particular videos calling for genocide of a particular community. And all these videos have been making circles around the internet. And you see people addressing, the crowd, urging them to take violence. You have not taken any action against them. So what's the point of taking action against Twitter or YouTube? You are just trying to stop the message getting across because you can no longer hide yourself. See, in this particular case, what has happened? The evidence, the enormity of violence, the inhumanness, the savagery walked into our own spaces, our thinking. So that's why the court is forced to take action. Prime Minister is forced to speak because they didn't do any investigation. It's the evidence which had come on its own into the bedrooms or into our own conscience that we cannot sleep properly without thinking about it. So if you stop this kind of, spread of message, if you take action against Twitter, YouTube, etc., absolutely uncalled for. There has not been any violence after broadcasting of this news by the Twitter or YouTube. It only did one good thing. It forced the Supreme Court to take Suo Moto action. It forced the Prime Minister to speak on the issue for the first time in 77 days. So what harm has been done? I don't think in a democracy you should act in a manner which infringes the right to freedom of opinion and expression. Then we can't even have this discussion. And tomorrow they will say, don't discuss this, because if you discuss here, then it will, incite violence there. That's not what democracy is all about.
Right. Binalakshmi, Nepram, thank you for joining us here as well. This has really reached the height of tensions. We've been seeing violence, more than 160 people killed, 55,000 people displaced, more than 5,000 cases of arson in Manipur. What is that the government needs to do now? Both the centre and the state government together need to do now as far as the safety of women in Manipur goes.
First of all, both the government and the state and centre have failed to protect the lives of just not the women, but 3.3 people living in Manipur. The entire state has been under a state of turmoil with massive atrocities and war crimes committed against citizens and civilians in the state of Manipur non-stop for the last 76 days. So I think for now, the government must own up responsibilities, and those who have let the situation to spiral into this must take the moral responsibility and resign, number one. Number two, that all authorities who are involved in this, who are taking care, supposed to provide the safety and security of every citizen, they must act. They must get the perpetrators who have committed this horrific crime against our sisters and ensure that they must be punished, number two. Number three, we call upon all the women of Manipur and the women of Northeast of India and the women of this country to come out strongly and say enough is enough. This kind of violations must never, ever happen again. So the fact that it is men who started these wars, and these wars are fought violently on the bodies of our women, of our mothers, of our sisters, this is unacceptable. This is a crime against humanity. And the UN itself has said that rape in conflict is akin to being a war crime. And those who committed this war crime They must be arrested immediately, and justice must be done.
All right, Binalakshmi, Nepram, Professor Haokip, Suhas, Chakma, I'll request you to take a short break. We're going to just return in a while from now, and we also have a special guest. A young girl from Manipur is going to be joining us on the phone. We're going to keep her identity anonymous, but she wants to tell us, she wants to share a message with the country. I request all of you to stay with us. We must support the girls and women in Manipur at this juncture. We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We're discussing the ethnic violence in the state of Manipur, especially in the context of that horrific video that has gone viral on social media of two women being paraded naked. One of them was allegedly gang raped as well. And the government, the police, has swung into action only when this video surfaced online. We have with us on the phone right now a young student from Manipur. We're going to keep her identity anonymous. We're not revealing her identity for security reasons. Thank you very much for joining us. Could you give us your first reaction to what has happened in the state of Manipur? This happened on the 4th of May, more than 2 months back. It's only now that the nation is talking about it. What does this show about the crimes against women in the state of Manipur over the last 2 months?
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on CNBC and share my views with the audience. I would like to start by expressing my deep concerns and extend my solidarity with the two tribal women victims from the Kuki-Zo community who suffered such heartbreaking treatment at the hands of the Meitei mob. The incident, I witnessed it yesterday on a Twitter that was shared to me by one of my friends, and after watching that video, I was left shaken, and I still shiver just by the thought of it, and I cannot even put into words how cruel it was. And this is just one of the many instances of violence that has been unfolded in Manipur since the 3rd of May, and a lot of people are still not aware of it. There are a lot of fear-mongering happening in the region, with rumors, false news, and fabricated stories being spread like wildfires. And like, for instance, during the initial days of the violence, there were rumors about a Meitei woman being raped by the Kuki-Zo community in Churachandpur district. And this could have been one of the factors that fueled the actions of some Meitei men who used these rumors as a form of justifying their actions. And it is just so devastating to witness women's bodies, especially from those of the marginalized groups, being used as a tool of revenge in this ethnic clash. And throughout history, women's bodies is being used as a battleground, and it is really, really disheartening to see that happening in Manipur right now. And also, the prolonged internet ban of more than 2 months has restricted access to the right kind of information, and it prevents us from knowing what is exactly happening in Manipur to the full extent. And I think there is also a concern that the lack of a video or the lack of a photo should not substantiate the lack of sexual violence that has been going on in Manipur since the 3rd of May. And I really do hope that the concerned authorities look into the matters and investigate it at the earliest possible, because we all know that justice delayed is justice denied.
Right. You must be in touch with a lot of your friends, family members, other women and girls in Manipur. What has been their reaction over the last few months? I'm sure they fear for their lives. Are they getting support from the police, the authorities on the ground?
Actually, it was reported on The Wire that there were police officials on the site of the incident. And this raises a very big question of why the state has still not taken up action against those officials who were there when the incident took place. And why does it have to take more than 2 months to arrest even a single one of the perpetrators involved in such heinous crime? And the internet shutdown that is being going on in the state, is it to hide such atrocities from the rest of the world? These are some questions that needs to be raised. And even the Prime Minister took over 2 months to address such violence in Manipur, and we cannot keep on waiting for a video to get viral in order to try and bring a solution, justice, and some sort of a peace in the community.
Right. I would request you to stay on with us for just a few more minutes. We have Binalakshmi, Nepram, with us as well. Binalakshmi, you must be hearing this young student speak. She has shown courage to speak out. I'm sure many young women in the country, every woman in the country would feel likewise right now. They would all be wanting action. This incident has a background. This violence, this tension had been building up. What is the best way forward in terms of bringing this to an end? And this was demand of opposition MPs also, that we need to make an earnest attempt to mediate and bring the violence to an end.
Absolutely. First of all, what has happened in Manipur is the weaponization of identities have happened, in which the way in which Manipur has over 30 plus ethnic groups. And this particular two ethnic groups, which are made to fight each other, Meitei and the Kukis, they have sort of, the process of dehumanizing each other has happened, which has resulted in absolutely horrific way in which the violence on women's bodies on this has happened. So I think what is very critical right now is to ensure that those who are in authority must immediately arrest those who are perpetrating these crimes, and that the women of Manipur and the northeast of India, the entire northeast of India, as well as the country, must stand united to condemn this horrific crime, and that the perpetrators must be imprisoned. So from the Manipur police, what we're hearing is that there has been some arrests made. They must arrest all those. But what is really unfortunate is that the system of mob violence, which has now been a pattern in this last few weeks, 76 days, is something that is incumbent upon the government of Manipur, the government of India, and more than 60,000 security forces, which are right now on the ground. What are they doing? Why is it that they're not able to stop this? So the collective failure must be recognized, and attempts must be made by authorities, both at the central level as at all concerned citizens, to ensure how do we seek accountability for this. So there's this kind of horrific violence. And mind you, what is happening in Manipur, I akin this to a slow killing happening. It's a slow genocide happening in Manipur, not just on 3rd of May, but Manipur has been engulfed in this violence for the last 5 to 6 decades. More than 50,000 people have been killed across, not just in Manipur, but across the northeast of India. We have martial law there. We have heavy security. And now the rise of violent extremist groups. Manipur is home to over 60 armed insurgent groups. Can you imagine? 60 armed insurgent groups. It's time for the government of India to realize that it should stop arming and training smaller ethnic groups, that all kinds of grievances can be addressed by putting it on the negotiating table. Let women be part of these negotiating processes. There are 17 peace talks in India's northeast.
I think that's an important message, that women must be part of this negotiation process to bring the violence to an end. Binalakshmi, I'm running out of time. Suhas, Chakma, Professor Haokip, I'll have to end this here. We also have an exclusive conversation with the governor